Alright, so welcome to the tutorial. We're going to start with a map card. We're going to set up a game, and we're also going to discuss attacker, defender, runner a little bit. So the map card shows you a number of different things. First off, it shows you what territories are in play. Now this is the world map card, so we've got 7 continents. Each one is a territory. There will be other cards released eventually, but for now we just got the world map. There is a number associated with each of these territories, and this number indicates the number of teammates that you can play, characters you can play to build a team when battling for that territory. So if we're going for South America here, then the Trican can have 3 characters on their team, the Bloodfallen can have 3 characters on their team, and so on. So that is that. The second thing that it shows is who occupies the territory. You see the color corresponding swatches here on the bottom. When you start off a new game, if you're playing with the Bloodfawn, if they're being played, they will have ownership of Europe. If the Trican are being played, they have ownership of Australia. And if the Grift are being played, they will have ownership of North America there. So that's how you'd start the game. And then as territories are won, say Bloodfawn went after Africa and won, then their pip is placed there to show ownership. The other thing that this map card shows you is whether it is day or night. And whoever's the attacker will roll the die to decide whether it is day or night. This one's day because 1 to 3 is day, 4 to 6 is night, so this will happen during the day. And in most cases, the attacker will use their colored pip to show whether it is day or night. And this will also show that they are the runner. When you're the runner, that means that any ties will go to you. As the old adage says, tie goes to runner. So any situation where there's a tie will go to you. And there have been a few situations that have arisen with ties. And it also means that whoever has their colored pip here, when they're attacker and the runner, that means that they will get the first offensive phase. Now, there are 2 exceptions. At the very beginning of the game, the first time that this is decided, let's say that it's at the very beginning of the game, we've got 3 players here, and Bloodfallen had the highest roll, so they're going to be the one still that rolls for the day or night. And we've got day here, but they got to pick their faction first. They got to pick the first territory to go for. They got to pick almost everything. So, as a reward, the person who picked the faction last, they will be the runner. So when it comes down to the first exchange, the last person to pick will be the runner, and they will use their colored scoring pip to show that it is day. And this means that ties will go to them in this battle, and they get the first offensive phase. So that's kind of their reward for not being able to pick their faction, or at least from all 3 of them. So that is one exception. The other exception is, let's say that Bloodfallen again, they are attacking, and you decided to play a shortened game, which means that you can go after occupied territories. More on that later. So I am going to play against the Trican on their home turf and try to eliminate them. They are the defender because it's an occupied territory. The Bloodfawn are attacking the Trican become the defenders, and in that case, even though the Bloodfallen again gets to roll whether it's day or night, and this time it's night, the defender will always be the runner, which means they will always put their colored pip on the sun or moon there to signify day or night, and that means that they will get ties in their favor, and they will get the first offensive phase. So if you're attacking an occupied territory, the occupied territory, the defender is always the runner and has their colored pip up here. Alright, so now I'm going to take you through setting up a new game. First thing you're going to do is roll a die and roll for order. Alright, I got a 6, which means that I'll probably be the highest. We're going to re-roll ties if there are any. I'm going to say that I'm the highest, and what this means is that I'll be able to pick a faction first. So I get to pick from the Bloodfallen, the Trican, or the Grift. I'm going to take the Bloodfallen here. I've been them for a while. And then I'm going to hand over the other 2 factions to the other players for them to choose theirs. Now, the second thing that I do as the higher roll is I will take a look at this map card and load it up. We have 3 of us playing today, so the Bloodfallen, me, will start off with Europe, and my buddy with the Grift will start off with North America, and my other buddy with Trican will start off with Australia. So there we go. As the higher roll, I will choose what territory we're going to battle for. So I'm going to say we're going to go after South America here, and then I'm going to roll the die. to determine whether it is day or night. It is a 2, which means it's going to be day. It's 1 to 3 is a daytime battle, and 4 to 6 is nighttime. So normally, as the attacker, as the one who chose the territory to attack for, as long as I'm attacking an unoccupied territory, I would put my color Pip on here as the runner. But because this is the first exchange, I'm going to put the faction color, the one that picked the last, on there to show that they're the runner. So the guy who picked the Triken, he's the last one to have picked. So I'm going to use the Triken's color to show that it is daytime. And this signifies that he gets the first offensive phase, and any ties will go to him. So on the first exchange, you always use the person who drew last, who drew the faction last. It's kind of their reward for not being able to pick from the full stable of characters. So that's how it's going to proceed. So now the map card can be placed kind of just where everybody can see it. It's not going to be used in the battle other than to tell us how many people can be played. South America, there's a 3 on it, which means that I will be able to build a team of 3 out of my stable of characters here. And I have a team in mind. I'm going to play Witch and Minister and Vicar together because they are on the same clan and they have specials that rely on each other. So those are my 3 characters that I've picked. I'm going to put them in here. I'm going to space them just enough so I can tap them easily. And then I'm going to set up my health cards. So I'm just going to make sure that these are set up in a way that I can easily keep track of who they're for. So if I set them up here left to right, then we'll do Witch, and then Minister, and then Vicar, and that's the way I'll keep track of health. If you were to play a continent with 5 characters and you're running out of space, you can easily just stagger some on top and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from left to right. Alright, so that's the way it's all set up, and we're just about ready to play. The last thing we're going to do is shuffle these cards called the Game Changers. And each one of these has a special ability. We're supposed to blindly pick the one for us, so I'm going to pick this one, and then I'm going to hand it off, and they're going to pick in their order that they rolled. And I can look at my own card, and if I'm on a team, I can show my teammates, but I'm supposed to keep this hidden from everybody else so that they don't know. It's an element of surprise. Hopefully I can use that in the perfect situation, and they won't see it coming. And yeah, so put that off to the side. Just remember you have it, and away we go. First battle is underway. Alright, so now some just quick notes on the length of games that you can play with FISK The Card Game. FISK The Card Game was designed to be pretty versatile as far as the length of games that you can play. The shortest game is around ½ an hour, and the longest game can take you days. So we are going to go over them quick. The first type of game is the shortest type of game. It's just called a quick game. And basically you're just going to select a territory to battle for. The winner of the battle wins the game. So if we're going to go after Australia, there's only 2 characters on a team, so that's going to probably go pretty quick. That's the ½ an hour game, 2 to 3 player. We figure about 10 to 15 minutes per character. When you become really used to them, it might be less than that. When you don't have to, read over their specials, you know them by heart. So that's the quickest type of quick game. A longer type of quick game would be like Australia or Asia or North America. There's 5 characters on a team, so that's definitely going to amp up the time. And there we go. There's my 5. And so again, the winner of that territory wins the battle. When doing a quick game, you really don't have to worry about your character hand. You don't have to worry about exhausting it because there's 12. You'll never exhaust it. And you could leave all the expansions in there. That's not a big deal. The second type of game is a regular game, and that is the way that FISK is really intended to be played. That will have you battling for majority control. So the first one to get 4 continents of the 7 will win the game. So we've got 12 characters here, and if you have any expansions, you just pick 12 that you're going to start the game with. Everybody has a hand of 12 characters that they've chosen. And you're going to have to ration these characters. If you start going for the highest cost territories first, let's say you go after Asia, and you use your team of 5. You don't have to use 5, but of course you would want to if you really want to have a good chance of winning the territory. Let's say that you win, but only 1 survived. These 4 are now put out of your hand. You can't use them again. They've been defeated. So now you're left with the original characters from your hand you haven't played, and Hanzo, who survived, who goes right back into your hand. So you won that, so that was good. But now you're going to go for Africa, which means that you're going to have 4 here. Let's say you lose that one. So all of your 4 get captured or get defeated. They are removed from your hand. You cannot use them again, so now you're left with another 4. And so now, let's say that your opponent has chosen to battle for your battleground, North America there. You only have 4 characters. They were lucky enough to have 5. So now I'm going to have to battle with these 4 characters and hope that something happens where I can overcome the odds against me. So it might have been smarter for me to start off with some of the lower cost territories. Also, you do have an opportunity when you start the game. Bloodfallen own Europe, the Triken own Australia, and you own North America as the Grift. And if you want to make it a little bit quicker of a game, you can allow a rule that if no faction owns a territory, so say the Triken here, someone's battled for Australia and they lose, they will be removed from the card and no longer having a territory. They will be defeated and not be able to continue play. If I were to go after Australia here, I use my 2 characters and I was able to defeat them, they are removed and now I just have to worry about the Bloodfallen. But remember, when attacking an occupied territory, they are always the runner and will have the first attack. So it's a little bit risky sometimes to do that. And that's how you play a normal game of FISK. Now, there's one more type of game, and this game is not for the weak of heart. It is called a mega game. I'm going to take my characters back here. A mega game will have you battling for control of the entire world. The way that this works is that just like in the regular game, you have your original selection of 12 characters here in a hand, and you will play them just like you had before, except for when they're defeated. So let's say I'm going after Asia again, but this time I lose. All of them become defeated. They go into a holding area, and they're going to stay there until I've exhausted my hand. So it gives the opportunity to the enemy to whittle me down. So let's say that now he's going to go after Africa. So we've got that, and I lose. I got 4, so he's got 2 territories already, and I'm down to 3 characters. So now he can go for Antarctica, and I've only got the 3. He's still got 4. So let's say we do that, and he was able to defeat me. Now I'm out of characters. What happens is I take this back into my hand, and now I've got all my characters again. So I will continue playing for that. So he was able to get an advantage for that 3rd territory. So now he owns 3 of the 7 already, and I have a little bit of an uphill battle ahead of me. So it's just going to continue like that. The only exception is whoever has this capture card. When playing a mega game, this card is the best game changer, because if you use it against a wounded character at any time, so let's say I would wait. If I wasn't the Grift, if I owned this and I was playing against the Grift, I'd probably wait until Hanzo was wounded and capture him, because he has a passive ability that allows him to escape as long as he hasn't used his other special when he's defeated. So I'm going to wait till he's wounded, and then I'm going to capture him. This permanently gets removed from the player who has the Grift from their hand. Permanently removed the entire rest of the game. So that is the only exception currently, is that would permanently remove. So now I have 11 characters to go through, and then once they're all defeated, I can grab them back. Also, in a mega game, you can't attack occupied territories until all unoccupied territories are spoken for. So, in other words, you can't attack the Bloodfallen on their home turf to remove them from the game until you have ownership of all the other unoccupied territories. So, that's it. Thank you very much. Check back at spiderwolf.com, look at our other tutorials. If you have any questions, please send us email or comments, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.